Hi, my name is Muhammad Bilal Kashif and you're watching iExpert 360 Introduction to Computer Networks Day 19 training series, and the topic is inter-VLAN routing using a layer 3 switch. In the previous video, Day 18 training, we have studied a concept that is router on a stick, where we are having a layer 2 switch which was unable to route the packets. So with the help of a router, we were able to ping from one VLAN to another VLAN. But today we are doing a lab on layer 3 switch. So the layer 3 switch operates on both data link layer as well as the network layer. So we won't be needing a router to make a communication possible between two different VLANs or two different networks. So let's begin. So these are the topics what we are going to study and configure our lab using these topics. What is a DHCP server? How to configure DHCP server on a Cisco switch? Lab topology, verification, and then we'll conclude this video. So let's begin. So what is a DHCP server? DHCP server stands for DHCP basically stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. A DHCP server is a network server that automatically provides and assigns IP addresses, default gateways, and other network parameters to client devices. It relies on the standard protocol known as Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol or DHCP to respond to broadcast queries by clients. And these are the commands by which we can configure our switch as a DHCP server. IP DHCP pool, and then the name, and then we have to define the network of that DHCP, and then we have, now this would be the address of our VLAN 192.168.16 dot something or whatever, and this is the DNS server address, domain name, service. So what actually a DHCP is? Let's suppose we have a switch here, and what we have done so far, we were assigning static IP addresses to our computers. So in this lab we won't be assigning static IP addresses. In fact, our computer will get an IP address from the switch automatically. We will just assign these commands to the switch, and then the switch will handle the IP addresses on its own. So let's suppose we have a switch right here, and then we have a PC right here, and there is a wire connection between a switch and a PC. So when what we were doing in the previous videos, we were assigning a manually IP address to this interface of a PC. So what we will do now, we will just configure our switch as a DHCP server. The PC will request an IP address to the switch, and it will find its DHCP server right here, and the DHCP server will respond to that request with the network parameter, that is IP address and subnet mask and default router and DNS server. So this is how the DHCP server would work. And this is the lab topology that we are going to configure in the packet tracer today. We have two different VLANs, VLAN 10 and VLAN 20, and we have two different networks, 192.168.20.0 network, and then we have 192.168.10.0 network. And what we were doing in the 18 training series, we were including a router in between, and we were creating a trunk port because that switch was layer 2 data link layer. And now we have a layer 3 multi-layer switch. So what we can do now, we can create different VLANs, assign different ports to them, and then we can just write this command to make the communication possible between two different subnets or two different VLANs, and that is IP routing. So let's power on our packet tracer and configure this lab. I'll see you guys in the packet tracer. So here I am in my packet tracer, and this is my whole topology. Let me just zoom it a bit for you. This is the topology what we are going to create. There is no configuration on my switch, and on my PCs there is no configuration. Okay, so first of all we will create two VLANs, and then we will assign DHCP server to each VLAN, and then we will configure inter-VLAN routing, and that is IP routing command. So let's begin. So in order to create VLANs, we will know to that and enable config t VLAN 10, and I will name it as accounts. Exit VLAN 20, name manager, exits. So I have created two VLANs, and if you want to see that VLANs, show VLAN brief. This is how you can verify that whether your VLANs are created or not. VLAN 10 accounts, VLAN 20 manager. So let's assign ports to these VLANs. Config t interface fa0/1, that is my this interface. Switch port mode access. Switch, if I write swit and then I hit tab, it would complete the command. Switch port access VLAN 10, and same is the case with fa0/2. Using up arrow key, switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN 10. Very easy. Now we will do the same thing for other two ports for VLAN 20, and using the up arrow key, 0/10 mode access and VLAN 20. fa0/11 mode access and VLAN 20. So let's see what we have done. Show VLAN brief. So we have assigned two ports in accounts, that is VLAN 10, and then we have assigned two ports in manager, that is VLAN 20. One fa0/1 and fa0/2, two ports here and two ports here. So let's assign IP address to these VLAN and associate a DHCP server with that. So these are the commands for DHCP server. Let's first assign an IP address to the VLANs. Config t interface VLAN 10 IP address 192.168.10.1 I'm using 192.168.10.0 network for VLAN 10 and 192.168.20.0 network for VLAN 20 for my own convenience. No shut. And then what we are going to do, we are going to create a DHCP pool for that. IP DHCP pool, and whatever the name, I will say VLAN 10. Okay, then the network, and here this would be the command for network ID, and that is 192.168.10.0 255.255, the subnet mask .0. And then what is the default router? Default router is my VLAN 10 IP address, that is 192.168.10.1, and then the DNS server 8.8.8.8. So this is the VLAN 10 path is complete. Now we will be doing VLAN 20 configuration. Interface VLAN 20 IP address 192.168.20.1 192.168.255.255.255.0, no shut, and then we'll go exit. So using up arrow key, IP DHCP pool VLAN 20, and what was the next command? Network is 20.0, and what is the default gateway? Default router is 20.1, that is my VLAN 20 IP address. And what we have next, we have DNS server, and that is my DNS server. So what we have done, we have created two VLANs, we have assigned IP address to those two VLANs, and then we have associate a DHCP server with those VLANs. So let's try our DHCP server. Desktop, IP configuration, DHCP, requesting, and it is successful. You see, we haven't assigned any IP address to that PC. The IP address is fetched from the switch using a DHCP server 192.168.10.2, 255.255.255.0, and that is the default gateway, and this is the DNS server. Again, for the other one, requesting IP, and IP is completed. And for this one, it is also completed, and this one is also completed. DHCP, and it is completed. So PCs have obtained IP address from their own individual VLANs, but if we try to ping from this PC to this PC, even though these two are connected within the same switch, let's try to ping it. But right now they won't ping because the routing is not enabled. 192.168.20.2. 20.2 is the IP address of my this side PC. If I check, 20.2 is this one. But as you can see, it is request timeout. We are not able to ping. But right after one command, all of the request timeout, see, it is at the ping conflict. 10 is trying to ping to 20, which is not possible right now. So config T, and now we will enter this IP routing command to enable routing, and then our 10 network would be able to ping the 20 network. Let's see, IP routing, enter, and let's see what happens if we ping now. As IP routing is enabled, we will be able to ping this side. See, it is pinging. And what if we try to ping from this side to other PC? Ping 192.168.10.2. See, we are able to ping 10.2 side because IP routing is enabled in the router now. And now there are no log messages that it is ping conflict or some other thing. We are successfully able to ping from this side to this side. So what we have learned so far, we have learned how to create multiple VLANs on a layer 3 switch, how to assign ports to them, and how we can configure a DHCP server for each VLAN, and then how we can communicate between two different networks or two different VLAN using IP routing command. So it is all possible because we are having a multi-layer switch, a switch that works on data link layer, that is OSI layer 2, and network layer, that is OSI layer 3. So with the help of a multi-layer switch, the router that was included in the 18 training series, that router is excluded because we already have some routing protocols embedded in the layer 3 switch. So we have successfully created this topology in packet tracer, and we have checked the working of that were able to ping from side A to side B. So this brings us to the conclusion of this video, and we have learned how to create VLANs and assign ports to it, how to configure DHCP server on a Cisco switch, and how we can enable inter-VLAN routing on a layer 3 switch using a command that is IP routing. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys at my next videos. If you like this video, subscribe our channel, like our video, post your valuable comments. You can contact me at my Facebook, my WhatsApp, my email address, on my YouTube channel by posting your valuable comments, and on my Skype. So thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned.